Last time on Vinland Saga Season 2, Thorfinn revealed that he is still tortured by the nightmares of those that he murdered in the past. At the start of Episode 5, Canute continues on his journey as memories of his father's death come flooding back. He recalls the moment when Askeladd, the infamous mercenary, pointed his sword at King Sweyn and proclaimed his true identity as the rightful king of Britannia. With a swift strike of his sword, Askeladd beheaded King Sweyn, sending shockwaves throughout the kingdom. Canute, now the proclaimed king of England, is determined to lead his army with honor and integrity. As they reach Mercia, Gunnar comments on the devastating aftermath of the war, but Canute is quick to remind Gunnar of their involvement in the situation. When they come across a group of soldiers pillaging the land and taking women, Canute takes decisive action, ordering their beheading and display as a warning to maintain discipline among his soldiers. With a strong sense of duty and purpose, Canute sets out to restore order of the kingdom and secure his rightful place as the King of England. He will not let his father's legacy go to waste and will stop at nothing to establish his rule, built on the foundations of honor, justice, and courage. As Canute approaches Floki, he inquires about the arrangements made for their upcoming meeting. Floki confirms the arrangements have been made, but adds that he didn't feel the need to meet Earl Edric of Mercia himself, suggesting that Canute should have trusted him to handle the matter. However, Floki then explains that Edric is nothing but a coward and not worth the meeting. Despite Floki's negative evaluation of Edric, Canute believes that a person's worth cannot be measured solely by their character. He still intends to meet Edric and judge for himself. In addition, Canute reveals that he has another purpose for his visit. Just as he is about to disclose the reason, a loud yell interrupts him. Thorkel charges at Canute, calling out his name with anger. Several men try to hold Thorkel back, but he continues to rage. Thorkel states that he hates when someone stops his battles more than he hates frogs. Canute calmly explains that Mercia has requested a truce and their victory in this battle is certain. Thorkel, however, remains unconvinced and declares that battles don't stop until the opposing leader's head is taken, in this case, Edric's. Canute tries to reason with Thorkel, pointing out the bigger picture and the fact that Edric is just the leader of this region, but Thorkel remains steadfast in his desire to enjoy a life of warfare. Floki then adds that Ethelred's son, Edmund in the east, is making moves and would like Thorkel's help. However, Thorkel retorts that he decides where he goes and who he fights. Turning back to Canute, Thorkel reminds him of the warning he had given him before, that he would be watching Canute's every move. He declares that Canute is still a nobody and just a kid, who will eventually have no choice but to carve his path with blood and iron, just like Askeladd did. Thorkel then throws off the men holding him and decides to back down for the day. Gunnar warns Canute not to overlook Thorkel's offense, but Canute believes that Thorkel's warning was valuable and makes sense. With a newfound perspective, Canute acknowledges that he must be careful in his actions and decisions, as Thorkel will always be watching. Wow, what a threat! Before we continue, take a quick moment to answer the question of the day. Who is the strongest character in Vinland Saga so far? Let us know what you think in the comment section below. Every video we will pick one comment for a shout out. Don't forget to subscribe and like the video for more content and a chance to be chosen. Now, onto the video. Later, as Canute joins forces with Gunnar and Floki, he finds himself face to face with Edric. Edric presents Canute with a hefty offering of 4,000 pounds of silver, hoping that this would be enough to persuade Canute to withdraw his forces from Mercia. However, Canute is not impressed. He sternly reminds Edric that he is the king, and to be offered such a meager sum is an insult to his royal status. Canute makes it clear that he is not in this for the wealth, but rather to quell the rebellion in his domain. Edric's son tries to interject and claims that Ethelred is their king, but Edric quickly silences him. Canute questions the authenticity of the offer, asking if it was made with Ethelred's permission. Edric assures Canute that Ethelred will understand the situation, but Canute is skeptical. He points out that Ethelred is a coward who fled into exile during the previous war and abandoning his people and throne. Canute finds it hard to trust the future of England to someone like Ethelred. Edric wonders if Canute is asking him to betray Ethelred, but Canute reveals that he already has. He proposes that Edric assist him in getting rid of Ethelred, in exchange for keeping Mercia. However, Edric refuses, his temper boiling over, and calls off the truce. Canute then turns to Floki and jokingly suggests that they test Edric's courage. He invites Edric to step outside with him. Outside, Canute barks out commands as he orders the lighting of the signal fire. Edric can't help but wonder what Canute is up to. His son then points to other signal fires, and Canute explains that this is the call to war against Edric. The thought of Marcia reduced to ashes sends shivers down Edric's spine. Canute, unbothered by the dozens of signal fires, states that reducing Edric to ashes will be a breeze. He tells Edric to make the smart choice and buy peace by offering Ethelred's head. The next year, in April of 1016, King Ethelred II of England passes away from an illness. Upon his death, his son Edmund takes the throne, but he proves to be a thorn in Canute's side in their ongoing war. Sadly, 7 months later, Edmund also succumbs to an illness. With his rivals out of the way, Canute becomes King of England in 1018. Asgeir marvels at how King Sweyn took 10 years to conquer the nation, but Canute achieved it in less than 3. He will soon be recognized as Brethwalda and coronated early the following year. Thorkel, however, couldn't care less and wants to continue enjoying his beer. Thanks to the seemingly unnatural deaths of his competitors, Canute becomes King of England, cementing his reign and marking a new chapter in England's history. How will this new king's actions shape the world? What was Thorfinn doing this whole time? Find out next time on our upcoming recap of Vinland Saga Season 2, Episode 6, coming out every time a new episode releases.